Hello, everyone. My name is Mitchell Pope. I'm the HMIS lead administrator for our COC, and this is our HMIS user training for September and October. This training will last about 21 to 22 minutes, so please just bear with me. It has a lot of interesting new information to get through and some reminders, and I hope you find yourself having a good day. And I hope this presentation leaves you a little bit more informed than you were before you saw it. During this training session, we'll cover 4 topics. The most important will be communication through HMIS. And this refers to we'll need to start having all email communication that has anything to do with clients, such as client names, client IDs, any client documentation. It will start needing to get sent through Caseworthy instead of email addresses such as that are based in Outlook and Google, and I'll explain that when I get to that topic. We'll be discussing quarterly performance monitoring reports, and these will be the same as the annual performance monitoring reports. This will just give you a quarterly update so we can see that where our programs are a little bit more frequently before we get to the annual performance monitoring reports. I'll go over a secure practice for HMIS. Something simple as logging off HMIS and your computer, and a reminder. And I make these reminders because I see some errors sometimes that are pretty consistent. So when I see that, I put them in the reminder in our training, and this is keeping disability information consistent in HMIS. So the first topic we'll cover is emailing through Caseworthy. So Caseworthy has an emailing system that we can use, and we'll need to start using that. As you see on the slide, to properly comply with best security practice for sending client information. Future emails that contain any client information should be emailed through Caseworthy, which is our HMIS platform. Public emails such as Google or Outlook are more subject to information leakage simply because those are big email sites that are really big targets for anybody that is trying to hack into emails, and we don't want our email addresses to get hacked, because if someone hacks a series of emails and some of our emails are included in that means some of our clients' data is at risk, which would be a big issue. So any data, anything that involves any client data needs to be sent through the Caseworthy emailing system, which we'll go over in the next couple slides on how to do. And all users that currently have access to the system will be able to receive emails. You'll be able to see it on your HMIS home screen, and users can message individual users, or groups of users if you select multiple users, or members of a created team in Caseworthy. And as of now, all agencies in HMIS, you have a group that has all of your agency members in it that have access to HMIS. And if there's any special groups that need to be formed, please let me know. Maybe I can make those for you. Okay, this is the first step in accessing your emails to view them, uh, see what you got, or send some emails. So on the home screen of HMIS, there's a message symbol in the top right-hand corner. If you look at your screen, I hovered over the message symbol, so where it says View Messages, and this is directly to the left of where your name is in HMIS, and then simply just click this button to access the messages. After you click your View Messages button, you'll be taken to this screen. This is your messages homepage. This is the screen you'll see when you go to your messages from the homepage. All of the messages that are received from you all the messages that are received by you will appear on the screen. So if someone or a group sent you an email through HMIS, it will appear here, and the user has options that filter the messages that appear on the screen, such as the message date in the sender and the subject. And those are kind of self-explanatory, and I'll let you kind of talk through those yourself to get used to it, but it's fairly similar to anything that has a date in HMIS. If you just select a date range of when you want to see emails, you'll be able to see the emails and who sent the emails. One thing that you'll commonly do on the screen is send a message. So in order to compose a new message, just click the new messages button in the middle of your screen. It is circled right there in red, so you can see exactly where it is, and that's where you go to compose a new message. So now after you click the new message button, we can get to sending messages to users. After clicking new messages, a screen will appear that looks like a standard composition template for emails. And there are three ways that you can send a message, and it'll be right there by that send to button. It's user only, team, and individuals not in the system. User only will be used if you select one single user or multiple users within the system. Team would be the best way to send an entire agency a message, because all the users in each agency have been put into teams that are listed by their agency name, and individuals not in the system is an option, but I wouldn't think that you'd be sending any client information to individuals that aren't in the system. So for that is an option, but that's not really an option for us. If you're sending messages to individuals not in the system, as long as it doesn't have any client information, you're more than welcome to send them emails from your Google, Outlook, or whatever email services that you or your agency use. And to search for users, we're going to click for the magnifying glass to next to send to users. That's a little bit to the right of the send to screen. It says send to users, and you'll see a name highlighted there. My name's at the top, but it's not the highlighted name. But you'll click the check mark next to the names that need to be included in the email, and then click add selecting, add selected like you would in the APR report or any other report to select all the users that you wanted to be added to this email. This is a continuation of sending messages to users. If you're a person that rather type in the user's name rather than using the search button to go through all the users in the system, you can simply find a user by typing their name. You'll go to the send to users and start typing that person's name until it appears on the list. And then again, you'll click the check mark by that user's name and then select the add selected to add them to the send to list. Sending messages to teams. As stated before, all agencies have teams created for them in HMIS. These teams include all active members in the organization, and I will add and remove people as necessary. And to send a message to all users of an organization, the option in the send to should be changed from user only to team. And then once you change it to team, you'll see the drop box in there. It'll have all the team names that are in HMIS. So you'll just select your agency, and that'll be a way to message everyone about a client or some questions about a client that is within your agency or another agency for whatever reason. So now that we've learned how to send a message, we can learn how to see what messages we've sent. So this is our messages home screen, and to see the messages that you've sent to other users, simply click the view my sent messages, which is circled in red at the top of your right hand corner of the messages screen, and be able to go to the view my sent messages screen. And now once we get to the view sent messages screen, you have the option again to filter by the dates from when you sent a message to kind of narrow the information or the subject of the message. And this screen shows the messages you have sent in a certain time frame. Clicking the View Recipients button will allow you to see who you sent a message to and whether they have read the message or not. So please check your messages, because someone will be able to see if you read it in HMIS. The next topic I'll be covering is our quarterly performance monitoring reports. We got a lot of feedback that stated it may be helpful if agencies have quarterly performance monitoring reports for their programs to where they can track their progress throughout the year a little bit better instead of getting to the end of the year and then you get an annual performance monitoring report and it affects so many things. So, in order to combat this, I will be sending out a quarterly performance monitoring reports to all agencies at the end of the quarter. This will help agencies get a better idea of how their project's performing before the annual performance monitoring report actually comes out. And this will allow us more time to correct incomplete and accurate information and more time for you to be able to research this information to see if it's incomplete or accurate and more time to communicate with myself or Chris to get these things resolved. And I will be reviewing the information for the reports after the last Wednesday, which is the quote unquote pit count date of that quarter. And these dates occur at the last Wednesdays of January, April, July, and October. So after these dates occur, if you could give me about a week or so to collect everyone's information, then I can start sending them out. And we can give me the feedback on things that you see are incorrect or missing, or we just, if everything isn't right, but we have to improve and we can come up with a plan to improve, or the best case scenario, all the information is great, we're rocking, and then you just see your progress and know that you have a gold star by the end of the year. The third topic I will be covering for today are secure practices for HMIS. Logging off your HMIS and your computer. It has come to my attention here recently that some users do not manually log off of HMIS at the end of the session, at the end of the day, which I do not advise doing because logging off your user profile or your computer usually slow down the computer speed, and more importantly, it's a potential security risk. Because here's the thing about not logging off. Not logging off eliminates with the physical security barrier of somebody takes your computer from your backpack or you leave it somewhere or you have it open in an office or a place where the public can look by. If you don't log off of HMIS and or your computer, that it's not secure because if someone can just grab it and open your computer and get to all your information, you're not being secure with the information. So now the system will log you off after 4 hours of use or non-use. And this will to be ensure that there's some idle time because I know a lot of you just need to have a little bit of time to put in client information, and I don't want you to lose any information that's not saved, so you have to go back and do it all over again. But at the same time, this is the best way to start securing, making sure on my end that things are a little bit more secure. Because personally, I log off every time that I leave my computer. I shut my computer down every day before I leave the office, just so, and then that's with locking the door in the office. So there's secure matters in place, like there's a physical lock as far as no one can get into the door that doesn't have the key. Even the people that can't get in, that can get in with the key, they cannot get into my personal computer because it's protected by a password. Even if you could get in by personal computer, my HMIS is protected by a password that's not written down by me. So the point is, we have to have secure practices to keep sensitive data secure. And now, since people aren't logging off, the system will log you off after 4 hours of use. The last topic we'll be covering is a reminder to keep disability information consistent in HMIS. There's two places in HMIS where disability information is collected primarily, and it is in the HUD Universal and in the HUD program assessments. The HUD Universal asks if there's a disabling condition, and the HUD program lists out disability types. And documenting disabilities correctly in HMIS has a large impact in the representations of populations that we serve. And again, disability information should be consistent in the HUD universal form and the HUD program. If a client has a disabling condition, answer of yes on the HUD universal. At least one of the disabilities should be selected for that client on the HUD program, and vice versa. If a client has a disabling condition, answer of no on the HUD universal, there should be no disabilities selected in the HUD program. And I've seen both cases where a disabling condition is highlighted on HUD universal, but then when I get to the HUD program of that client, that there's no disabling condition listed for that person. Or in the HUD universal, it says no, but then I get to the HUD program and the client has 2 or 3 disabilities. So again, it's very important to keep all this information very, very consistent. HMIS is what we eventually turn into HUD, and this gives a picture of the people we serve and the programs that we were serving. And I know it's easy for me to sit at my computer and say, hey, make sure this information matches. But as you're talking to your clients, it might be a little bit harder to get all this information correct through your paperwork. But I would advise you just to go through your paperwork after you enroll a client, make sure it's consistent before you add it in HMIS, and then just double check your HMIS information to make sure that the information is consistent, because this will only pop up if we do a data quality check, or sometimes some of these issues get past the data quality check, and we'll have to go deep, make a deep dive and find these things. So again, just briefly check your information after you enter it to ensure no errors have been made. And if the person has multiple enrollments throughout the COC, please look at the previous assessments of what your colleagues said. Your information shouldn't really conflict that much with another agency's or another person's. I would imagine if somebody had a disabling condition 3 months ago or 4 months ago, that they still have a disabling condition now. It is possible that somebody could, after a time, go from no to yes, but probably not. It's a little bit less possible that somebody goes from having a disabling condition to no. Again, here's an example of what's going on. So I have a client here where his HUD Universal says that he does not have a disabling condition, but the next assessment, it is highlighted that he has a drug use disorder. And if this person has a drug use disorder, it is a disabling condition because it's identified as a disabling condition in our HUD program. So again, this is not to point anybody out or anything. This is just to make sure our information is consistent and concise. It's been seen through many programs through all the agencies. So again, it's not to point anyone out or any program out. It's just to mark something that I've seen increase over the past few months. Okay, so a reminder, our HMIS office hours are every Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. So if you have a question that you have and you haven't been able to reach me by phone or email, or it just came up to you that day to ask me or Chris, just log on to the Zoom link and we'll be able to answer your question. Importantly, if I haven't been to your agency within the last year, which there's a few agencies I haven't been to, and I'll just probably personally reach out to you myself, please, we'll schedule a visit for me sometime soon. It's just a requirement of being an HMIS administrator that I do do a visit with people and maybe just touch up with some things with you if you're not having any HMIS issues. Answer any questions if you are having issues with HMIS, and that'll be it. It doesn't necessarily have to be that long. It's just a requirement based on COC policy and HMI administrator policy. And then we are available via email and text and call always Monday through Friday. So if you have a question, please do not be afraid to call or ask. Both me or Chris will be able to get to you at the earliest convenience. I always tell people with myself, Mitchell, please email me first. If you of course you can try to call, but if you send me an email, I am by my computer or my phone most of the time, so it will pop up and I'll see it and I'll get back to you. Again, as we get to the end of the presentation, just if you have any questions or concerns, email myself, Mitchell, or Chris via email or telephone. If you need access to any HMIS documentation, there is a cloud where all this information has been loaded. Such documentation, for example, would be the most recent intake paperwork. You'll just click this link and you'll be able to get there. Same with the user trainings. If you just click this link, all the user trainings from last November till now will be posted there. You can skim through them, go over some topics that you may have missed. That'd be very helpful in HMIS. And as always, thank you for watching the slideshow. See you next time. Thank you.